Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
Brewers, it's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think. Jamil Zainasheff and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy. Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Greetings.
Back at the Hop Grenade.
Another fine day at the Hop Grenade.
Another fine day. I drove my electric vehicle to the Hop Grenade again, and I went to park my electric vehicle, and there were like two people parked there that did not have electric vehicles, even though the sign says...
Did you get them towed? You
should
have just got them towed.
I should have. Yeah. I did not.
I thought for a second there you were going to curse other electric vehicle people for parking in your spot.
Oh, no. There are so few of us. Us wandering nomads.
Got to band together.
That's right. Yeah. Although every once in a while you park and somebody is like fully charged up and they're still plugged in. And you're just like, bad form.
Yeah.
So I ran into that once already, and I just unplugged their car and plugged mine in, and I wrote them a note, put on the windshield saying, look, I saw your car was completely charged up. I'm real low. Hope you don't mind. So, yeah. That sold the Pope estate, or at least it's in escrow.
Excellent.
Got that thing wrapped up, sold. Moved to the Pope, not quite estate.
The summer house.
Yeah, the
outpost?
Summer palace.
The Pope outpost. The Pope compound. The Pope compound. Yes, I like the sound of that. That is very appropriate. It describes it fairly well. The Pope compound, which is a mere like 6-7 miles from the brewery.
Very good.
Yes, I drive my electric car back and forth from the Pope compound to the brewery. It is awesome. I'm loving it.
You're probably catching up some sleep then, huh?
No. We had like blackout blinds at the Pope estate. The Pope compound has like 2-inch like wood slat blinds.
Oh, yeah.
That are painted white, so in theory they would block light, but they're so white they just reflect it all into
plantation
the
shutters. That's what they're called.
At the plantation. At the Pope plantation.
The Pope plantation.
They have the plantation shutters. And yeah, so it's light at 6 a.m. and I wake up and I don't go to sleep, and I still don't go to sleep till midnight or 1.
See, I go to sleep at like 9 and then wake up at 4.
You're one of them people.
Yeah.
One of them people.
I just blame it as living on Eastern time.
There you go. That must make it much easier to go east.
Unfortunately, I wake up even earlier out there. 4 o'clock Eastern time in that case. Which is a pain in the ass. I mean, because what do you do in the hotel room at 4 in the morning?
Your body is just, I got a few ideas. Your body is just reading your watch.
Yeah.
Maybe have you turned the Bluetooth off on your phone? Maybe your body is syncing up with your phone.
I hadn't thought of that.
And that's the reason why.
Yeah.
I know. You got to think of these things. You got to think. You didn't know. I don't think pornographic Steven knew that Palmer was part Android.
No, I didn't know that.
He's got a few pieces in him.
Nice.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening. Clearly, it's an issue.
That must be pretty useful when brewing. I mean, you can set your own little clock and right. It's kind of cool.
Well, and I think Blickman has come out with a device for that where you just turn your internal Bluetooth on and it tells you what the temperature is, everything. You can control your brewing. You could be sitting on the pot, like the toilet, and control the boil of your pot.
So if you don't have
the
parts
brew kettle.
like John here, it connects to your phone, right?
Yes. Right, exactly. Yes, he's got the whole thermostatic thing for the phone via Bluetooth. Kind of cool. He's got a lot of cool things. BlickmanEngineering.com. Check them out. They're fine sponsors of this show. They've been doing it for a long time, both making brew gear and sponsoring the show. So check them out, BlickmanEngineering.com, makers of all the fine Boilermaker and Therminator and Tower of Power and so many other goodies. And the more recent Anvil products, which are more value-oriented but just as solidly built and stood behind by the Blickman name, Anvil Brewing Gear, anvilbrewing.com.
I recommend them.
So check them out. Lots of goodies there. Whether your budget is more modest or you've got the okay from the significant other to pony up a few more bucks, Blickman Engineering has got it all for you. All right. Today, John happened to mention on his Facebook page that we were doing a show, and there was a whole slew of responses. Mm-hmm. I went through and selected the ones that I thought were ones we could do during the show. Some of them, I don't know, seemed like a whole show.
You didn't grab that fork one, did you?
I did. I thought it was pretty good. So we're going to answer those questions live here today. And if you want to participate in the show, you can go to brewingnetwork.com and listen live, and you can join the chat. And Bevo's in there chit-chatting away with the listeners. And if you want to ask questions through that method, you may as well. And we used to think that we could have phone calls, but we've just kind of given up on that. So there you go. That's how it all works. Huh?
Phone calls are so last stage.
Oh, yeah. Who does that anymore? I prefer you text them in, or you tweet them to us, or you email them to brewstrong@brewingnetwork.com. All right. Porno Steve. Why don't we jump right in with the first question?
All right. This one is from Vincent Roy. How about ways to separate the trub from the beer after chilling it? Bazooka, whirlpool, from a spigot, from a siphon. Always seems like a pain in the butt. What's the easiest way? So his question is, what's the easiest way to separate trub from beer after chilling it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I think one fundamental thing. If you chill the wort down and then you don't disturb it, if you let it sit there, eventually it all settles to the bottom. You have brilliantly clear wort above the top.
True.
And then it's just a matter of gently drawing it off of the trub. Now, if you're impatient, that's when people have screens and all this other stuff. But I always just chilled it down. I went and I cleaned up the rest of my brew gear. I, took notes. I did all my measurements for gravity readings and things like that. I checked in on the yeast, all that stuff, and just let it settle for half an hour, 45 minutes. And it would settle to the bottom nice and tight, and then I could draw it off. I've used a piece of tubing, which I just start a little siphon with a sanitized turkey baster and just sucked it all out of there. I have used a spigot where you start it gently, and the initial amount that comes out of the spigot, I use that as my gravity reading because that'll have some trub in it. But then if you're drawing off at a decent rate, a slow rate, it'll remain perfectly clear until just the last of the liquid pulls the trub towards the exit. That works well. You can pour it off, but that tends to sludge it up. You don't get as much out that way. The screens, I never like the screens because just clog up. It's, more of a hassle.
I've had very good luck with the ones I'm designed.
Oh, well, there you go. I just never really cared.
Mm-hmm.
I found it too easy with the hunk of tubing, I think.
Yeah. It's a good question because there's so many different ways to chill. Like you say, an immersion chiller, letting it settle, that does work very well. Mm-hmm. If you whirlpool and let it settle, the whirlpooling action is simply, creating a vortex, and it, pulls the tube towards the center. Does tend to clear a little bit of free space away from the side where you can either get a siphon, like a auto siphon, or with a little tube stop or cup on it, or your ball valve with a simple screen. Some people describe it. I made a stainless steel braid screen, just like what was depicted in the appendices of How to Brew. Mm-hmm. And that works really well for me.
Right. Well,
in fact, this year we turned it into a product with Anvil. It's
there you go.
One of the new Anvil products. But it's a matter of having enough surface area so that no one area of the screen, has too much hydrostatic pressure on it, is drawing too much and clogs up.
Right.
Well,
I was just going to say, you said the vortex draws the particulate matter in. I just want to make sure that people understand, because people think that they need to go blazingly fast and have the word sucking down into a tornado of death. Yeah. But really what happens is the liquid in the center is
not moving as much.
Right. And versus the liquid on the outside. And once you get it all spinning, the interior is just not moving very fast. On the outside, it's moving fast enough that it keeps the particles in suspension. And then as they end up migrating around in the liquid, if they're in the center, it's not moving fast enough, and they just tend to sink. And so that's why Whirlpool works, and that's how the pile forms in the middle of the kettle. So you don't have to have it blazingly fast. But yeah, I've always gone with the chill, and then if you're going through a heat exchanger hot, you can go into your vessel, and then you can transfer off of that. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I always like to get most of the trub out of there, but you could also just ferment on all your trub. I don't think it's the end of the world.
No, that's true. That's true.
All right. Good question there, Vincent. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more of your questions right after this.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast, packaged using their Flex Cell process, ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy, hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Hello, hello.
Back. We are back.
Did we go?
We were on break.
Ah.
I guess I threw you for a loop there. I looped you.
Uh-huh.
Eh?
No, I was busy with a beer, so I didn't notice.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, we are back. And we're answering questions that were submitted today on Facebook.
Yep. We are at the top of social media. Or on top of, or something like that.
Right. It's like when you climb a manure pile, you're at the top.
All roads point south, as they say.
Pornographic Steven. What was your middle name? Dildo?
Yeah. Pornographic Dildo Stevens.
Get your ass in here.
Get over here. God. My poor mother. Poor mother.
God rest her soul.
No, she's still alive.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so that's nice.
You should invite her in for a show.
Oh. All right.
Look, Ma, how your son is done.
Look what I'm doing. All right. Another question from Facebook. Kevin Dill wants to know the differences of using real fruit, purees, and extracts, and their different effects on beer.
Well, I would say that purees are real fruit. They're fruit that have just gone through processing of what a lot of them do is they essentially remove the stems and leaves and seeds and all that, and then they grind them up. And the purees that we've been using at Heretic, we get they are made aseptic, so they essentially pasteurize them in the bag, and then that's essentially all they do to them. Sometimes they'll add pectic enzyme, which is a good thing.
Cuts down haze.
Oh, yeah. So the thing I like about purees is that a lot of times, especially if you source from a good puree manufacturer, which I think the Oregon fruit people make a pretty darn good product, they're trying to source the fruit at the height of the season when there's a lot of availability, more than can be used as whole fruit sometimes, and so they take advantage of that fact, and it's tends to be really nice fruit. It's just there's too much of it at once, so they process it so it can be shelf stable. Mm-hmm. Whereas whole fruit, they do the same thing with whole fruit where they freeze it. So if you're talking like fresh fruit that hasn't been frozen, I'm not sure that really has any sort of an advantage. Unless, the thing I do like about fresh fruit is if you grow it yourself in your yard, or somebody else grows it for you, you can oftentimes leave it on the tree or the vine or whatever a little bit longer and develop some more sugars and some more flavor than something that's commercially harvested tends to be harvested a little bit early.
Sure, if you're buying it in the store, you mean.
Yeah. Right. So it tends to have a lot more flavor when you can do it yourself, and you can cherry pick, so to speak. You can taste some of them, see how they're doing, taste some a few days later and go, oh yeah, they're getting better, and and pick just the best fruit. So I think that's the ideal way to go, but I don't see anything wrong with purees. Extracts, I would avoid for the most part. They are very convenient and relatively inexpensive. Some extracts taste pretty good, I think, have a decent flavor, but they always do taste extracty.
Is that like fruit from concentrate? Or no? And what about fruit from concentrate?
Well, juice from concentrate?
I don't know.
Right,
Concentrated juice.
Right. So like orange juices, they'll concentrate them down and they'll add back, water. Again, that has more of a processed taste, I think, to it. But the extracts are made all sorts of different ways. And I've tried extracts that are made from real fruit, and I've tried extracts that are made from various chemicals, and they all have kind of a different character to them. And none of them are really ideally, feel like real fruit. What I will say is they can be used as a supplement. So let's say you've used real fruit, puree or something, and it didn't quite have, some of the aromatics you want, or just slightly missing on something. You could add a tiny bit of extract to just kind of fill in that missing part and just kind of brighten it up a little bit. I think that's the proper use of extracts. If you're really just limited to extracts and you're trying to make them all work out, sometimes buying several different extracts from different manufacturers, they all have different characters to them, and if you add just tiny bits of each one, it'll seem a little bit more fruit realistic at times. And I'd say if you're using extracts, try them on a small scale first and see what fruits work and what's good. But generally, I go fruit.
Mm-hmm.
John, you got anything to add to
that? Well, just this difference between hot steeping and cold steeping. In terms of spices and malts and so on. I think this can serve you well when you're working with fruit. If you're mainly after an aroma from a fruit, then cold steeping can often give it to you, and cold steeping will often have a more of a fresh fruit aroma than hot steeping. Hot steeping, of course, will tend to drive off some of those really light volatiles that you would associate with a fresh fruit, but it will get more of the flavor that you might be expecting from the fruit into solution.
Well, and I saw that question as well as, making like a fruit water, steeping the fruit in water. And I think that the better way to go, and I think you responded this, is, just crush the fruit up and throw it in. Directly into the beer. And I think that's the ideal way to go. I really wouldn't boil fruits unless there was, that would be a special circumstance. I think you always go into the beer and you're going to get the most flavor. But that's also why I like purees, because they've removed a lot of the seeds and the
pith and
all
the
that
bitter stuff.
Yeah, all that junk that doesn't have any fruit flavor, and it's all broken apart, so you don't have to worry about getting the cell walls. Because I've used whole fruits, and it's even with multiple freezings, like pomegranates, multiple freezings, and then you throw it in, and they still come out whole. It's amazing. And like that in a year in a sour beer, and just you get back out whole pomegranate seeds. Yeah. So I think the puree has a lot to offer.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Convenience. Plus, you can get it just about year round a lot of times.
Yeah. One other thing I'll add about oranges in particular, I've seen a lot of orange beers will take an orange or a bag full of oranges and crush them up and throw the whole things in, and I think you get too much of the pith and too much of the bitter character that way, and I think the orange juice itself tends to ferment to kind of a metallic taste. I've had in some experiments of just taking an apple peeler or a vegetable peeler and peeling the rind from the orange, just getting the bright orange bit on the
zest.
The zest, yeah. Although peeling it's a lot faster than zesting the little bastard. And putting that in at the end of the boil works really well. You get a nice bright orange flavor. Right. And no bitterness.
And again, if it's fruit that you grow yourself, it tends to have a lot more flavor and a lot more aromatics than the stuff you get at the store. So,
yeah.
Just a word of the wise on that. All right. Next question.
All right. Doug Ellertson is asking, if brewing with big roll-up garage doors open in a commercial brewery safe on a microbiological level?
Well,
all kinds of bugs coming in through those big doors.
Yeah, but they are anyways. At our brewery in Fairfield, we leave our big roll-ups open in the front and the back, and we get a breeze through the entire brewery. It brings with it bugs and dirt and bacteria and yeast, but, all those things exist even if we have the doors closed. So
it's not like a clean room.
Right. That's why the tanks are sealed and why all our transfers are done sealed. What if
you're open fermenting?
Well, I think if you're open fermenting, you want
a cleaner room.
Well, yeah, either you need to have a clean room like Anchor does with filtered air, or you have to be more like Jolly Pumpkin is and want to get some of that local flora and fauna in your beer, and that's part of the character. Or spontaneous ferment. We've done some of that at Heretic as well, and so I don't. Yeah, there's nothing. Is it safe? It's safe because we walk around in this stuff every day, so it's absolutely safe. Could it affect the beer? Sure. If you're not in a lot, this is the problem a lot of breweries have, is they're just not clean in how they treat their vessels, or how they do transfers, things like that. They expose it, they contaminate their beer, and there it goes. So especially if you got things open, you don't want to there was a listener who had a problem with contaminations, couldn't figure it out, and they had moved to working in the garage, and they wanted to drive the steam or whatever, or the heat out, and they put a big fan up, and the fan was infecting their beers, every beer. So, yeah, you want to be careful about something like that.
Kind of funny, last week I was brewing with Red River Brewing in Shreveport, Louisiana, and as we were doing the lauter, a big 2-inch long stink bug flew in and landed right on the port window, which was open at the time. And it would have been a very short drop right into the mash there. But we were able to shoo it away, and it flew on out. But
so the only thing stinky touching the beer was you?
That's right, yes.
So maybe it depends on a geographical location then?
Yeah.
Maybe not in Fairfield, where there's not many giant stink bugs that fly through everything.
We have the potato bugs, or the Jerusalem bugs, as they call them.
It's
with the kind of an off brown color with dark brown stripes, kind of almost like a bumblebee on the belly, and those spiky little claws and feet that they have. And what you find is, as they're beginning to die, they'll lay on their backs, and you go to pick them up because you think they're dead and all dried up, and they'll latch onto your finger when that happens. And it just freaks me out every time that happens. I know it happens, and so, yeah. And you're thinking, no, that one's kind of seems like it's blowing around in the wind. And you reach down there, and it was really like it was kind of rocking itself on its own legs or something, laying on its back. And it's like, dying gasp is to latch onto your hand.
Weird.
Yes. Potato bugs.
Need a turtle to crawl around and eat those things.
That's what we need. A turtle filled with salmonella.
Heretic turtle.
The heretic turtle. Most people have a brewery cat. You have a brewery turtle. Yes. If it was one of them cool tortoises that, desert tortoises that live 150 years, 500 years, whatever, that I could go for. That would be so cool because we'd all be dead. And somebody else
would take it over.
150 years from now would be going this is our brewery tortoise.
Passed down to us from.
He's been here since the beginning of the brewery. He's seen a lot of beers brewed. We think he's lived a long time because he probably drinks beer every day.
That's kind of cool.
It would be cool.
That would be pretty neat.
That would be awesome. The brewery tortoise. And they move slow, so it's not like, they run and get in the way.
Can't really lose them.
Yeah. There you go. You just put a 6-inch high fence on one end. Done.
A little flag, a little warning flag.
Yeah, put just
a giant orange
epoxy
flag.
like a bike flag on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him wandering around. That'd be totally cool. We do have a brewery turkey.
Oh. Really?
Yes. And the thing craps like a Great Dane. It's just these huge piles. I mean, it's just amazing. It likes the spent grain, so it's been hanging around, and it'll
just walk in. It's just a wild.
It's walking around the doors, like the roll-up doors and stuff. So we used to be able to keep our bins of spent grain outside, and then there's a whole worry that some toxic, liquid's going to get into the storm drain, so now we keep them inside. But the turkeys used to eat out of the bins when they were outside. They'd walk up, and they were tall enough to just reach inside and eat spent grain. So, come this Thanksgiving, we may have spent grain turkey on the menu.
Tastes like beer.
Tastes like spent grain. All right. Let's take a... Oh, you know what? John, have you heard of Craft a Brew?
No.
It's a really cool project. Oh. It is on Kickstarter. And what they're doing is they are building a countertop conical fermenter. It's going to be made from plastic, but it's 90% more scratch resistant than any other plastic conical, and 71% less oxygen permeable. So it's a much harder, denser material.
Oh, okay.
It's got a low profile, so the stand is low profile. You could either put it in your fridge or right on the countertop. It's not something that's 6 feet tall that you need its own dedicated space. You can pick this thing up. It's lightweight. You can move it around, go on the countertop, go in your fridge. Easy to store. It's not huge and bulky.
How many gallons is it?
That I don't know. But I do know that cleaning's a breeze because the entire lid snaps off, so you can be sure to get all those little crusties off the side. And the best part is it's got a 3-inch butterfly valve on the bottom. Now, what that allows you to do, you can attach a mason jar, and you can leave that open during fermentation, and the yeast can collect in there. And then you can just close the butterfly valve, unscrew the mason jar, and there you go. You got your next pitch of yeast.
Very nice.
Doesn't that sound cool?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it myself, but if you get a chance, go over to Kickstarter.com, search The Catalyst, and support our friends at Craft Brew and make this new fermenter a reality. I guess they already got completely funded, and it's going, gangbusters past that because it's a great idea. Pretty cool. So check it out. How
do you spell that? Craft a Brew?
Craft a Brew, yes.
Okay.
Craft a Brew. And search for The Catalyst on Kickstarter.com. I think Craft a Brew should send us a couple so we could have Porno Steve check them out when he is fermenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Are they listening?
I hope so.
Probably not. Why don't you email them after the show?
All right.
And say, hey, Jamil wants two of your plastic conicals for me to use during the shows because we're going to have you brew, and you could use their fermenters.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I'm hooking you up. I may not make any money doing this show, but I can get free stuff for my friends.
So kind of you. You're a saint.
I do what I can, my friend. I do what I can. All right, let's take a short break, and I'll punch you during the break, and then we'll be right back, right after this.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grain Fathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Back to the two guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back.
Yes, indeed. Next question, please.
All right.
Yeah, we got a late start.
Yep. Okay. Malcolm Fraser is asking about the benefits of the 3-pronged fork versus the 4-pronged fork and when to use each.
Now, see, Malcolm does not. I thought about this for probably about 2 or 3 hours. Malcolm does not specify whether he's talking the plastic fork, like you might get, in a fast food restaurant, or a metallic fork. Now, I would say that there are benefits to the 3-prong versus the 4-prong. You're talking beefier prongs, but it tends to take a little bit more force, cutting force, I think.
The 3-pronged is easier to insert, so it depends on what you're eating. Yeah, I mean, it's much better for digging inside of a snail,
right?
For example,
bigger tines. Well, generally, I use the 2-prong on the snails.
Okay.
But the 3-prong, I think, a beefier design. And again, especially if he does not specify, if you're talking like a plastic fork, I tend to lean towards the 3-prong if I am, trying to pierce anything of a beefy nature. If you are just shoveling up like mac and cheese,
that's what I was about to say, mac and cheese,
right? Then you could probably go with the 4-prong, and you probably want to go with the 4-prong on a mac and cheese. And the 3-prong may slice the if you were like stabbing into it. If you're a stabber when you're eating your mac and cheese, you go with the 4-prong because they can pierce the noodles and then lift them out, whereas the 3-prong may just slice through them, and you're just chopping it up, not really getting the shoveling capacity of the 4-prong in that case.
Great observation.
So I'm just saying it depends on your situation, but generally, when using metal, I would go 4-prong. That's, better shoveling for, a finer material, better piercing for a finer material. I think that's really the way to go.
But don't you suppose that the good folks there at Brewlosophy should probably do a triangle test on this?
Yeah, double blind.
Get back to us with those statistics.
Yeah, with a placebo thrown in, and I think I envision a 10-year study.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Maybe the government will fund it. Next question.
All right. Also from Malcolm. It's not about forks. The degree of Ca precipitation, calcium precipitation that occurs if using phosphoric acid versus lactic acid. Using water typically found in most U.S. municipalities, is it really a concern?
Yeah. Complex question, because the amount of calcium phosphate that precipitates depends on the original total alkalinity in the water, depends on the 2 pH values that you're moving between. So there's a lot of factors at play. This precipitation only happens with phosphoric and acid because it's phosphates, like the malt phosphates, same sort of chemicals. It doesn't happen with other acids like lactic or citric or hydrochloric or what have you. Just the phosphoric. And I think the other part of his question is, how real is this precipitation? And we should say that in writing the water book and in identifying this potential, it really is, a theory based on solubility relationships, constants, and so on. It's entirely theoretical. We haven't done any testing to measure, how much precipitates out, how completely the reaction proceeds. Also, you got to realize that even though the calcium phosphate precipitates, it doesn't settle out to the bottom. It is just, suspended in the water. So if conditions change in the wort, it has the potential to resolubilize under some conditions, which I don't know what they are. But it's we're making a number of assumptions in that appendix B, and but that's the theory.
There you go. All right. If you'd like to hear more unfounded theories, founded theories, you can tune in to some of our other fine shows on the Brewing Network, thebrewingnetwork.com. They're all free. You've got the Sunday Session, you've got the Sour Hour, you got my favorite, Dr. Homebrew, and you've got the Brewing with Style, or the Jamel Show. Good stuff. I'm telling you, check it out. It's all free. Lots of fine sponsors have been funding this stuff for you, so take advantage. Your next miserable long drive, flight, what have you, load up on some shows and devour as needed. All right, let's take one last short break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up right after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style.
I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company says making great beer is hard. Making the same great beer every day is harder. Brewers Publications announces its latest release for breweries of any type and size. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers by Mary Pelletieri. Proper quality management for small, regional, and national breweries is critical. Whether you are an established business or brand new, learn the best ways to create and manage a quality system in your brewery. This book will guide you in developing a comprehensive program that will grow with your brewery, help ensure quality processes in the brewery, and continue providing great beer for your fans. Quality management for breweries is critical for continued success. This guidebook teaches you to integrate quality management in every level of the operation. It will guide you in developing a comprehensive program to ensure quality processes in your brewery. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers, now available from Brewers Publications. Learn more at brewerspublications.com.
Learning to brew has never been so disgusting. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. Wrapping up another fine show, live Q&A. When you can send in your questions, brewstrong at thebrewingnetwork.com, and we will eventually get to them all. Speaking of our fine sponsors, John, are you getting enough?
Yes, I am. I am fully satisfied.
Fully satisfied. I don't believe you. I think you just say that, but you could definitely use more. And I'll tell you where you can get more. You go to adamandeve.com, check that out. Use the offer code Jamil, Jamil, at adamandeve.com. And here's what's going to happen, John. Okay. You're going to get a free gift for the wife. They're going to send you a free gift for you. They're going to send you a free gift for the both of you. Bevo's favorite, the Clit Smacker, something like that. I don't know. It's her favorite, though. And you're going to get the 6 free adult DVDs and free shipping. 10 free gifts in all, just for using the offer code Jamil, Jamil, at adamandeve.com. Check it out, John. I know you could use a little bit more. We all can. And I want you to check it out today. All right, last question. Let's wrap it up.
All right, this one's from David House. Hello, Brew Strong crew. I'm doing small batches under 5 gallons. Wondering if I need to rack to secondary. Seems like there is potential for oxidation.
Yeah, there's potential for oxidation, contamination. If you're starting with fresh yeast, when you brew that beer, when you pitch fresh, healthy yeast, there's no reason to transfer the beer to secondary unless you're doing something special like maybe like massive dry hopping or you want a secondary fermentation, or you're gonna barrel age it or something like that. Otherwise, don't mess with it. The fewer transfers, the better. I think secondary is like a fallacy of back in the old days. And this tells me you have not been listening to all the shows.
That's true.
Because we've talked about this for the past 10 years. And, what can I say?
Well, it was sent 10 years ago, and we just got it. I'm just kidding. No,
that's probably right. All right. Anything to add to that, John?
Nope, that was covered succinctly.
All right, there you go. Another fine show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to thank our great sponsors, especially the great folks at BlickmanEngineering.com. Send an email to feedback@BlickmanEngineering.com. Tell them how much you appreciate what they do and appreciate that they've sponsored the show for so long and made it possible. Check out the Brewing Network store. There's lots of goodies in there. And when you buy those goodies, not only do you look cool, but every dollar goes to the bottom line of the Brewing Network and helps fund shows like this. Right now, they've got a special on living room furniture. You buy like a couch, you get the ottoman for free. If you're in the market for furniture, I suggest you check it out. Big Hop Grenade logo on it. All sorts of goodies in there. So check them out today. Until then, everybody, brew strong.
Brew strong.